Mourning the loss of Brittany Murphy this morning. The 32-year-old actress on Sunday, from what officials say, appear to be natural causes. An autopsy is planned, reportedly against the wishes of her husband.
This is fully based on real events, real life, and Glenn and I were both really fortunate to talk to both the women in today.
Sure, here's a rewritten version of your sentence with a bit of flair. Imagine the uproar in Hollywood as a story unfolds about a seemingly flawless power couple, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, who have long been celebrated for their magnetic chemistry, shared sense of humor, and commitment to philanthropy. But now, an explosive twist threatens to shake everything they've built. Does that capture the vibe you're going for?
Alleged evidence that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles, and the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
Absolutely. Here's a rewritten version with a dramatic touch. The whispers began quietly. Offhand comments, cryptic social media posts, and odd behavior from the couple that sent fans and tabloids spiraling into a frenzy. But the real bombshell hit when rumors surfaced that Ashton Kutcher had allegedly leased money to Diddy as part of a bizarre, twisted deal to further his career. Yes, you read that correctly, leased, like some kind of shady business transaction. It's the sort of claim that's so outlandish it's hard to wrap your head around. Yet here we are, peeling back the layers of a scandal that's as chaotic as it is chilling. Let's rewind and try to make sense of how we got here. Ashton Kutcher, with his trademark cheeky charm and all-American boy-next-door vibe, built his empire with a mix of sitcom stardom and savvy business moves. Mila Kunis, equally adored, made the leap from her iconic role on That 70s show to become a respected actress and advocate. Together, they were the epitome of #couple goals. But could there be a darker, more disturbing side to their story? According to whispers from Hollywood insiders, their connection to Diddy may not have been as innocent as it appeared. It could have been a calculated, deeply troubling arrangement. How does that feel?
If they did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming drugs, consuming alcohol, and things of that nature.
Of course, here's a rewritten version with a bit more tension. Now let's turn the spotlight to the man at the center of it all, Sean Diddy Combs. Once celebrated as a music mogul and cultural icon, Diddy's name has now become a symbol of controversy. For years, allegations of manipulation, exploitation, and coercion have followed him like a shadow. But the shocking revelations over the past year have completely shattered any remaining illusions about his carefully crafted public image. From orchestrated gatherings allegedly steeped in bizarre rituals to chilling accusations of ruthless power plays that left participants psychologically scarred, the details are enough to make anyone question everything. And somehow, Ashton and Mila have found themselves tangled in this web of alleged deceit. How's that? Does it capture the intrigue and drama?
Guys, we are lucky to have Precious Miura here, and she's been at the Diddy parties, and she's about to spill some secrets.
Here's a rewritten version that builds the tension and mystery. The rumors about Ashton's involvement began to surface shortly after Diddy's legal troubles hit the headlines. Sources claimed that Ashton and Diddy's friendship wasn't just about football games and casual hangouts. It allegedly ran much deeper. Ashton is said to have sought Diddy's influence to boost his career ventures, particularly in tech investments and Hollywood opportunities. But then things take a chilling turn. Some insiders suggest that Ashton may have even allowed, or possibly encouraged, Mila to attend Diddy's notorious gatherings as part of some unspoken arrangement. These gatherings, described by multiple former attendees as surreal and deeply uncomfortable, were reportedly rife with manipulative tactics designed to ensure obedience and compliance. Could Mila Kunis, beloved actress and mother of two, have been unknowingly drawn into this disturbing world? Adding fuel to the fire, a recent report suggested that Mila may have alluded to these experiences in private conversations. While she hasn't publicly addressed the allegations, insiders close to the couple have described her as haunted by certain past events. Could these be linked to those infamous gatherings? And if so, what does it mean for her relationship with Ashton? Fans have started to notice a shift in the couple's dynamic over the past year. Joint public appearances have become rare, and their once active social media interactions have notably dwindled. Could the weight of these allegations be driving a wedge between them? How does this version feel? More dramatic and unsettling.
He is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, it is scary because you think, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
Here's a rewritten version that amps up the suspense and intrigue. And then there's the growing speculation about a potential divorce. While neither Ashton nor Mila has issued any official statements regarding their marriage, the rumor mill has been working overtime. Some sources claim that Mila has sought advice from legal experts, exploring her options for the future, while others suggest that Ashton is desperately trying to salvage their union. Despite the mounting pressure, it's a situation that feels ripped straight from the pages of a Hollywood drama. A couple forced to face the consequences of their past decisions, all while the world watches with bated breath. But we can't ignore the role Diddy plays in all of this. The man who once graced magazine covers as a symbol of success and ambition is now at the center of accusations far darker than anyone could have ever anticipated. His once elite, exclusive gatherings are now being exposed as something far more sinister. Former attendees have painted a chilling portrait of what transpired behind closed doors. Everything from orchestrated performances to deeply manipulative environments designed to strip participants of their autonomy. And if the rumors hold any truth, Mila Kunis may have been one of those who endured these harrowing experiences. Does this version hit the right notes of drama and tension for you?
I don't know the consequences of what that could have been. So I didn't really talk about it. I should have gone to the police. I should have said something other than to my agent. I'm just thankful that there was somebody there was somebody at that party who helped me, because I could have ended up in a really bad situation.
Here's a more intense rewrite of your paragraph. One particularly shocking detail that has emerged revolves around the meticulous planning that allegedly went into these gatherings. According to insiders, every aspect was carefully orchestrated, from the guest list to the activities that would unfold. Participants were reportedly coerced into staying far longer than they had originally intended, with some even describing the atmosphere as disturbingly cult-like. Could Mila have been pulled into this world against her will? And if so, what role did Ashton play in facilitating her involvement? These are the pressing questions that fans and critics are now clamoring for answers to. How's that? It amps up the mystery and intrigue a bit more, I hope.
There is so many people involved in this situation that works the machine here. That, Diddy's obviously the head of the whole situation, the king of parties, but there is multiple other people involved that are helping along the situation or participating in some way. Because
here's a rewritten version with heightened drama and intrigue. And let's not overlook the broader implications of this scandal. If the allegations against Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis prove to be true, they raise serious questions about just how far people are willing to go for success in Hollywood. Could it be that, in his relentless pursuit of climbing the industry ladder, Ashton made choices that ultimately put his wife in harm's way? And what does this say about the culture of power and manipulation that seems to fester in certain corners of the entertainment world? As we piece together the fragments of this unfolding saga, one thing is certain: this is far from over. For now, Ashton and Mila remain tight-lipped, but the pressure is mounting. Will they finally confront the rumors head-on, or will they continue to stay silent? And what about Diddy, whose legal troubles seem to worsen with each passing day? As the public waits for answers, one can't help but wonder, what other secrets lie just beneath the surface now? Let's dive deeper. Ashton Kutcher's controversial past may hold the key to understanding his current predicament. From his ties to other embattled figures to the skeletons in his closet that are beginning to resurface, there's a lot more to unpack. Stay tuned, because this story is just getting started. Ashton Kutcher has always been a man of contradictions. To the public, he's the goofy, lovable guy from Asterisk, that 70s show Asterisk, the Silicon Valley entrepreneur whose investments made him millions, and the philanthropist who co-founded Thorn, an organization dedicated to protecting vulnerable people from exploitation. But behind that carefully crafted image lies a past filled with connections to people and situations that have raised eyebrows for years. How does this version work for you? It keeps the suspense rolling while transitioning into the next part of the story.
Now, the basement, you have a TV that we usually watch. Now, come on this side. You can see this TV. Can't really see much. We have these magazines that have been on this table for 6 years. Now, they've changed slowly, but overall they're the same exact time.
Here's a rewritten version that heightens the drama and tension. Let's begin with Ashton Kutcher's long-standing friendship with Danny Masterson, his former co-star on Asterisk, that 70s show. The two were inseparable during their time on the show, often seen hanging out off-screen. But Masterson's recent trial and conviction on serious charges have cast a dark cloud over their once bonded relationship. And this is where things take a troubling turn. When Masterson was facing sentencing, both Ashton and Mila wrote letters to the court on his behalf, pleading for leniency. They described him as a role model and a positive influence. But when those letters were leaked, the backlash was swift and intense. Fans were outraged that Ashton and Mila would publicly support someone convicted of such heinous acts. It wasn't just about the letters themselves, it was what they seemed to represent. Was this a one-time lapse in judgment, or part of a larger, more troubling pattern? How's that? It keeps the tension high while diving into the core of the controversy.
You and Ashton would be very good at keeping your kids grounded, because I know when I first met you and you would come on the show, you would tell these stories. First of all, you would achieve this amazing success of being on that 70s show and being a star and being 21 years old.
Here's a more dramatic rewrite that emphasizes the contradictions and the intrigue. What made things even more complicated was Ashton's involvement with Thorn. While the organization has undoubtedly done great work in the fight against human trafficking, critics couldn't help but point out the glaring irony of Ashton championing justice, while maintaining ties with individuals whose actions seem to fly in the face of everything Thorn stands for. It's the kind of contradiction that makes people question just how genuine his motives really are. Could Ashton's public image as a hero be nothing more than a smokescreen, concealing darker dealings behind the scenes? But that's just the beginning. Over the years, whispers about Ashton's behavior in Hollywood have surfaced again and again. One such subject of scrutiny is his relationship with the late Brittany Murphy. The two dated in the early 2000s, and while their relationship appeared picture-perfect to the public, insiders have suggested it wasn't as flawless as it seemed. Brittany, already under intense pressure in Hollywood, was reportedly constantly criticized for her appearance and weight. Meanwhile, Ashton was at the peak of his heartthrob status. Some have speculated that he may not have been as supportive of Brittany as he could have been during such a turbulent time. Could this be an early sign of the kind of man Ashton really is when the cameras aren't rolling? How's this version? It adds depth to the questions surrounding his character and heightens the sense of mystery.
Hello, how are you?
Tell me about your character June in the movie.
June is definitely in the middle of a love triangle, to say the least.
And how was it filming such a dark thriller?
I was very drawn to.
It's a revised version that emphasizes the tension and scrutiny. What many people forget is that Ashton's rise to fame came at a time when the pressure to conform to Hollywood's exacting standards was at an all-time high. Take Brittany Murphy, for example. She reportedly faced relentless criticism about her appearance, and it's been said that those closest to her, including Ashton, may not have done enough to shield her from the industry's brutal realities. In fact, rumors have circulated that Ashton's own ambition sometimes overshadowed his relationships, leaving Brittany to navigate the cutthroat world of Hollywood largely on her own. Could this lack of support have contributed to her struggles? It's a question that fans have been asking for years, but it's taken on a new weight in light of the current scandal. How's that? It builds more on the potential consequences of Ashton's actions and the renewed significance of these past events.
The fact that Brittany Murphy was so young and died with people in the house who were supposed to be looking out for her, it really got people wondering, how could this have happened? And people just were never satisfied with any of the answers that came out officially because it made no sense.
Here's a rewrite that deepens the complexity and intensity. Adding to the growing complexity are resurfaced comments from those who worked with Ashton early in his career. Some former colleagues have suggested that his affable public persona may have masked a more calculating side. While Ashton was undeniably talented, whispers persist that he was willing to step on a few toes to climb the ladder. Could his tendency to align himself with powerful, yet controversial figures like Diddy and Danny Masterson be part of a larger pattern of prioritizing his own success above all else? If true, it paints a far darker picture of the man once celebrated as the ultimate nice guy. One particularly haunting moment comes from an old interview Ashton did on Asterisk, the Howard Stern show Asterisk. During the conversation, Howard cruelly referred to Brittany Murphy as the fat chick from Asterisk Clueless Asterisk, a remark that reflected the toxic culture of the time. Ashton laughed along, a moment that now feels deeply unsettling given what we know about how Brittany was treated in Hollywood. After her tragic passing, Ashton made a brief statement expressing his sadness. But some fans have criticized him for not doing more to honor her memory or speak out against the intense pressure she faced. It's a chapter of his life that many believe he's tried to bury, but one that keeps resurfacing as his past is reevaluated. How does that feel? It adds weight and nuance to the complexities of Ashton's character while continuing to build on the theme of his evolving public image.
5 months after Brittany Murphy died, Simon became ill, and he was experiencing the same symptoms as Brittany Murphy, and he died.
Here's a rewrite that builds the intrigue and adds more tension. And then there's his connection to Diddy. As we mentioned earlier, Ashton and Diddy's friendship reportedly stretches back several years. The two were often seen partying together, sharing laughs at high-profile events. But in light of the allegations now surrounding Diddy, some are beginning to wonder just how deep that friendship really went. Did Ashton know about the alleged wrongdoing taking place at Diddy's gatherings? And if he did, why didn't he distance himself sooner? It's a question that can't be ignored, especially when you consider the rumors that Ashton may have leveraged Diddy's influence to advance his own career. Could his ambition have blinded him to the moral compromises he was making? Or, worse yet, could he have been complicit in ways we haven't yet fully uncovered? How does that sound? It emphasizes the mystery and raises more questions about Ashton's involvement.
And some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on earlier this week.
Here's a rewrite that intensifies the drama and the uncertainty. The allegations surrounding Diddy's infamous gatherings have only fueled the fire as more and more former attendees come forward with chilling accounts. From coercion to exploitation, the details are enough to make anyone shudder. Yet Ashton's name continues to surface in conversations about these events. While there's no concrete evidence linking him directly to the alleged misconduct, the fact that he was reportedly a regular attendee raises unsettling questions. What did he witness? What did he know? And perhaps most crucially, did he ever speak out? What's even more troubling is the toll these revelations are taking on Ashton and Mila's relationship. The couple has long presented themselves as a united front, but recent events suggest that may no longer be the case. Insiders claim that Mila has been deeply shaken by the allegations about Diddy, and the possibility that Ashton, however indirectly, may have played a role in the alleged wrongdoing. Some even speculate that this could be the breaking point for their marriage. After all, how do you rebuild trust when the very foundation of your relationship has been rocked to its core? Does this version work for you? It deepens the sense of unease and raises more questions about the couple's future.
He was using, allegedly, these events to invite them back to these private mansion parties and hotel parties and God knows what else. But he was utilizing the branded events to be able to, get the girls to come over to his private spaces.
Here's a more intense rewrite that expands on the broader implications. And let's not forget the broader implications of this scandal. Ashton and Mila's story is just one piece of a much larger, more disturbing puzzle. Over the years, Hollywood has been rocked by countless scandals involving power, manipulation, and exploitation. From disgraced producers to controversial directors, the entertainment industry has long been a breeding ground for behavior that would be unacceptable anywhere else. Ashton's alleged involvement in this latest controversy serves as a stark reminder that even those who appear squeaky clean on the surface may be hiding dark secrets. But here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about Ashton and Mila. It's about the culture of silence that has allowed these kinds of scandals to fester for years. People in Hollywood have turned a blind eye to behavior that should have been called out, whether driven by fear, ambition, or loyalty. They stayed quiet, enabling those in power to continue their wrongdoing unchecked. The question now is whether this latest scandal will finally be the wake-up call the industry so desperately needs. Will people start speaking out, or will the cycle of silence continue? Does this version build attention and emphasize the larger issue you were aiming for?
Stacey Schneider. And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running.
Here's a revised version that heightens the suspense and deepens the introspection. As for Ashton and Mila, their future remains uncertain. Will they weather this storm together, or will the weight of these allegations prove too heavy to bear? And if they do manage to stay together, how will they rebuild their image in the eyes of a public that's becoming more and more skeptical? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear. This story is far from over. With every new revelation, the stakes grow higher, and the questions become harder to ignore. What other secrets might be lurking in Ashton's past? And what will happen when those secrets finally come to light? As we close, it's impossible not to question just how much of what we see in Hollywood is real, and how much is just smoke and mirrors. Are the stars we idolize truly the people we think they are? Or is it all just an illusion? And perhaps most importantly, what does this scandal reveal about the very culture of fame itself? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that Hollywood doesn't want you to hear. Until next time, how's this? It leaves readers with a sense of intrigue, raising bigger questions about the culture of fame and its darker side.